The 2030 term extension bill for Emerson Mnangagwa, known as Constitution Amendment Bill number 3 of 2026, is at the table of Emerson Mnangagwa, waiting for his signature. We still hear the parallel structures of Mnangagwa singing the songs of 2030. I think that on its own is an indication that it's game on for Emerson Mnangagwa, and most probably, why is he still mobilizing parallel structures to chant these slogans as well as sing these songs? It's a reflection that the political game, is not yet over when it comes to the illegal constitutional amendment bill number 3 of 2026. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonimpani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So today at the National Heroes Acre, you would not believe who was also present there. It was none other than Sengezo Chabangu. Now, Sengezo Chabangu is frequenting at you know that National Heroes Acre burials are not national events in Zimbabwe. Rather, these are ZANU-PF events, because even hero status is bestowed to only ZANU-PF members, not non-ZANU-PF members. So other people who are in opposition like myself, they would not qualify to be accorded a hero status under the current ZANU-PF leadership and the current political status quo. So during the burial of Major General Evaristo Ziwema, these are the songs that were sung by the parallel structures of Emerson Mnangagwa. Let me play you. So the song, maybe you are not hearing it. It says 2030 Ndeya Mnangagwa. This was happening at the National Heroes Acre in Zimbabwe. And as retired General Chiwenga was entering, there was deafening silence and undertones of actually booing him. And when Emerson Mnangagwa was entering, these were the songs that were sung by the parallel structures of Emerson Mnangagwa at the National Heroes Acre. This on its own is a key indicator that the 2030 term extension is not a done deal. Emerson Mnangagwa is still campaigning for this, even though the bill is at his table, because he understands that this kind of politics, you don't just get victory through ballpoint and paper. Victory has to go along with the strength of your support within the security cluster in Zimbabwe. Sometimes you might appear to be supported during the broad daylight, yet at night you do not have this kind of support. So as I have indicated, you know, these parliamentary proceedings, this is just in fact, this is not where the battle is. That is why you saw that process continued to be carried out. What matters the most with 2030, does Mnangagwa have the support, unanimous support of the military, just like Robert Gabriel Mugabe, when he actually had to lead Zimbabwe for more than 30 years? It is, beyond reasonable doubt that he did so because he tried not to tamper with the relations between the military as well as himself. That is why we saw him staying longer in power. He tried to appease war veterans. We saw him giving them 50 kgs. That was buying their support. We saw him sustaining their livelihoods by making sure that they receive at least monthly allowances, or was it salaries. And we saw him also by trying to appease them by giving them land, undertaking land reform program. All these were initiatives to keep the war veterans actually on his side. He appeared to be doing something. It's something that Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa has lacked significantly. In fact, he has been giving more money to parallel structures with no liberation credentials or no liberation history at all. If you look at the people who are singing 2030 and they are Mnangagwa, these are youths. And these youths actually in ZANU-PF, they are non-entities. They are not individuals who play a critical role in terms of ensuring that Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa gets to be the president up to 2030. You've heard the retired military generals saying, in spite of the cap 3 at Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa's table at the moment, awaiting his ascension, they have said they still stand on elections would be carried out, that is in 2028. They still stand on the 2013 constitution. And what has just happened in Zimbabwe, to them, it's a non-starter. And that is where the nub of the issue when it comes to these illegal processes that Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa have been carrying out is if he doesn't have the military support, if he don't have the support of the retired military generals, if he don't have sufficient support of the war veterans, if he don't have, of course, opposition, it hasn't mattered, but I'm speaking about people who matters the most in the politics of ZANU-PF. Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa have significantly disappointed these people. That's why you see them at the moment working with the opposition. We've never seen a political party of retired military generals being formed. It is actually being formed at the moment, whether it's a strategy for Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa to try and dilute the revolution of retired General Chwenga. We are yet to see whether that is actually, we're yet to hear, especially from the faction of retired General Chwenga. So the week already starting with a lot of activities going on the ground. Mnangagwa making sure that these suspicious deaths and burials of the retired military generals, he actually tries at whatever cost to sell his 2030 term extension ambitions through song. But is it a good idea for him to sell his ambitions through songs? I don't think so. It is not the songs that decide. I will keep on repeating. It is the support of the military as well as also the war veterans. If you see the war veterans not supporting you whilst in power, then understand that your power is shaky. This is what exactly happened to Robert Gabriel Mugabe leading up to the coup of 2017. The war veterans began to march against him. They began to condemn his leadership. I think he didn't actually take them seriously, thinking that they were acting in isolation. But at the end of the day, it proved that the war veterans were not working in isolation. They were definitely working with the military. At that time, it was too late for him to discover that. The moment he discovered that, already the military had acted on him. And also Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa might be having an understanding. That is why to deal with him it is taking time. But I must also underscore that dealing with Robert Gabriel Mugabe also took, a lot of time. A lot of individuals, military personnel, were killed in the process, but eventually he was gotten rid of. So we wait to see whether Mnangagwa at his old age would be in a position also to play the politics that was played by Robert Gabriel Mugabe to prolong his political power. So the funeral at the National Heroes Acre reduced to a campaign rally by Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, although also undertones of being fingered on the deaths of military generals being the reality. He is also making sure that he makes the most of this by turning their funerals into rallies. What a shame. Funerals are supposed to be events where individuals cry for the loss of their loved ones. But in Zimbabwe, politicians capitalize, they use them, they convert them to rallies of sending a clear message to the opponent. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Wakanqobo Mhlabane is signing off. Let's love and leave you. Let's meet